Hey, what's up, BookTube? My name is Juan. I'm just one reader, and today you are joining me for another recent reads video. Today I will be talking about books numbers 37 through 40 that I've read so far in 2016. By the way, 40 books in 2016 so far is a very small amount if I compare it to the amount of books that I had read last year at this point of the year. We are almost to November, so by this time of year last year, I had already read at least 80, so at least double the amount that I've read so far this year. But I'm feeling actually quite satisfied and proud of myself because I've managed to read something. And if I have to say, if I have to be honest, I think last year I read more books, but a lot of them were not only shorter but easier, and I read a lot more YA and middle grade. And I think this year, because I've had so little time dedicated to reading, I've had to be very careful with deciding what I'm going to read. So I've picked up great books this year. So 40 books so far, but out of those 40, I think I have enjoyed very much at least 35 or 30. So I'm very lucky. I think this is a really great reading year, and I'm really looking forward to doing my best books of 2016 video in December, because that's always a lot of fun. And I think this year I definitely have discovered some of my new favorite books ever. So having said that, book number 37 that I read this year is The Loney by Andrew Michael Hurley. This is a British horror novel that I really enjoyed. It is very literary, it's very beautifully written, it has some amazing descriptions of the setting and the environment and some characters. It's a very atmospheric horror novel. If you enjoy movies like The Witch, that came out this year, I think this has the same vibe. It has the same sort of atmospheric, very literary tone and quality. It's very slow paced, but it's very rich and textured, and I really enjoyed it. I did find it slower paced than I would have liked, and I gave it 3 stars because I felt that the ending was just anticlimactic and also very rushed. I felt like the book was mostly built up for a climax that never really came, or never really came to what I expected, I guess. So I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the ride, but it's not a book that I would recommend very much. Then book numbers 38 and 9. I started doing a series about rereading Harry Potter as an adult now that I'm 25, and so I read 2 installments, the first 2 installments in the series. First I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in this beautiful edition, and I really enjoyed it, but I was definitely able to find some problematic things in here and some things that have just changed with time in me as a reader. I think this book doesn't really hold up as much as I would like it to, but I was still very happy with it. I made a separate review on this one, so you can go check that out to see my thoughts in more depth. But I definitely enjoyed it. I thought the writing was very, very funny, and it's a very good introduction to a series. It's just what it is. And then after that, I read the new Jim Kay illustrated edition of Chamber of Secrets, and I actually enjoyed this one much more than the first one, just because this one had more world building, more development of the characters. The dialogue was funny, and also we got to explore 2 characters in particular that I really loved, and those are Draco Malfoy and Gilderoy Lockhart. I also made a separate review for this one, so you can go check that out. I love the illustrations. I loved the illustrations, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jim Kay does with the next installments in the series. And then the last book that I finished reading, book number 40, was The Dumb House by John Burnside. Actually, I also made a separate review for this one. The Dumb House is one of those books that will absolutely stay with me for a very long time, and that I do want to reread. I want to teach this book in college or in class whenever I get the chance to, because I really feel like I need to share this book with people. It's such a mystery of a book. It's very fascinating and dark and truly horrifying in terms of what humans are capable of, and what mental illness can do and can cause, and mental health and mental illness being my professional area of expertise. This book was just totally up my alley. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I have this need to share it with people, particularly here in Mexico City. This book is completely unheard of. No one talks about this book. You cannot get this book or any of John Burnside's books here in Mexico. You have to order them from the US in my case, or from the UK or wherever. So it's a shame that we don't get this type of literature in here, but if I can share it with someone, I will definitely do so. I loved how literary this was, and how this was constantly shocking me, but it was always so beautiful, and the language was just wonderful. It was beautifully written. I wouldn't say that this was, or that this will be my favorite book of the year. I can think of at least one book, Swamplandia by Karen Russell, or Magic for Beginners, that I've enjoyed more. But this one is definitely one of those books that you will see in my top books of the year. So yeah, loved it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Those were my recent reads, numbers 37 through 40. I will see you next time.